The moment Eliza Matthews whispered those words, "No one wants to date me," across her mahogany desk, I knew my life would never be the same. What I didn't know was that those 6 simple words would lead to the most beautiful, complicated love story I'd ever experience. If you've ever felt invisible or unworthy of love, this story might just change your perspective. Stay with me until the end, I promise it'll be worth it. And if this journey touches your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more stories that remind us of the power of unexpected love. My name is Daniel Parker, and 3 years ago, I was just the quiet IT guy who fixed everyone's computer problems at Horizon Publishing. A single dad to my 7-year-old daughter Lily, I kept my head down and focused on 2 things, doing my job well and being there for my little girl. After my wife walked out on us when Lily was just 2, claiming she never signed up to be a mother, I'd built walls around my heart that I thought were impenetrable. Eliza Matthews was the opposite of me in every way. As the newly appointed CEO of Horizon Publishing, she commanded attention the moment she walked into a room. Tall, confident, with sharp green eyes that seemed to see right through people's facades, she had transformed our struggling company into a thriving business in just 8 months. Everyone respected her, many feared her, but no one really knew her. That Friday evening, I was working late, trying to fix a server issue before the weekend. The office was empty, or so I thought. I was deep in concentration when I heard a crash from the direction of the executive suite. Rushing to investigate, I found Eliza sitting on the floor of her office, surrounded by scattered papers and a broken picture frame, a half-empty bottle of wine on her desk. "Ms. Matthews? Are you okay?" I asked, hovering awkwardly in the doorway. She looked up, her eyes red-rimmed, mascara slightly smudged. For a moment, she seemed startled, as if remembering where she was. Then she laughed, a hollow sound that didn't reach her eyes. "Daniel Parker, right? IT department?" Her voice was steady despite the evidence of tears on her face. "Yes, ma'am." "Don't ma'am me. I'm 34, not 60. She attempted to gather the papers around her, then gave up with a sigh. "What are you doing here so late? Don't you have a life to get back to?" I shrugged. "The primary server went down. I was fixing it." "Always the reliable one," she murmured, more to herself than to me. Then she looked up, vulnerability flashing across her face before she masked it. "Want to know a secret, Daniel Parker from IT?" I didn't answer, but she continued anyway. "No one wants to date me," she whispered, gesturing to the wine bottle. "I'm celebrating another failed relationship. Apparently, I'm too intimidating, too focused on my career, too much." She emphasized the last word with a bitter twist of her lips. I should have mumbled something polite and left. Instead, I found myself stepping into her office, kneeling to help gather the scattered papers. "Their loss," I said quietly. She stared at me, surprised. "You don't even know me. I know you saved this company when everyone said it was impossible. I know you remember the names of the maintenance staff when the previous CEO didn't. I know you approved extended parental leave even though the board fought you on it." I handed her the stack of papers I'd collected. "So yeah, their loss." Something shifted in her expression, surprise, curiosity, maybe a hint of appreciation. She accepted the papers with a small nod. "You have someone waiting for you at home, don't you? I've seen the drawings on your desk." "My daughter, Lily. She's with my sister tonight." Eliza nodded, then seemed to make a decision. "Help me clean this up, and I'll order us some food. Unless you need to get back." That night, sitting on the floor of her office sharing Chinese takeout, I learned that the formidable Eliza Matthews had grown up in foster care, fought her way through college on scholarships, and climbed the corporate ladder through sheer determination. She learned that I'd been raising Lily alone since my wife left, that I played guitar, and that I dreamed of one day starting my own cybersecurity firm. We talked until midnight, not as CEO and IT guy, but as two people who had somehow found an unexpected connection in the emptiness of a Friday night. "Thank you," she said as we finally prepared to leave. "For staying when you could have walked away." I didn't know then that those words would become the foundation of our story. The following Monday, I expected things to return to normal, for Eliza to be the distant CEO again, and for me to fade back into the background. Instead, I found a coffee on my desk with a simple note: "Thanks for the conversation. E." Over the next few weeks, our interactions remained professional but tinged with a new awareness. She'd stop by the IT department with questions that could have been emailed. I'd find reasons to check the equipment in the executive suite. We were circling each other, curious but cautious. Then Lily got sick. It was just a fever, but school policy meant she couldn't attend for 24 hours after her temperature returned to normal. My sister was out of town, and I had no choice but to call in and explain I needed to stay home. An hour later, my phone rang. It was Eliza. "I heard about your daughter," she said without preamble. "How is she?" "Better, but still feverish." "I'm sorry about the server upgrade." "Forget the server," she interrupted. "Do you need anything? Medicine? Food?" Her concern caught me off guard. "We're okay, but thank you." There was a pause. "I could bring some work by later. For both of us. If that wouldn't be an imposition." That evening, Eliza arrived at my modest apartment with her laptop, a stack of files, and a bag containing homemade chicken soup. "My foster mother's recipe," she explained, looking almost shy. "It always made me feel better." Lily, curious despite her illness, peeked out from her bedroom. "Are you Daddy's boss?" she asked, her voice scratchy. Eliza knelt to Lily's level. "I am. My name is Eliza. Your dad tells me you're not feeling well." Lily nodded solemnly. "My throat hurts, and Daddy says I have to drink yucky medicine." "The medicine will help you feel better," Eliza said. "And I brought some soup that might help too. Would you like to try it?" To my amazement, Lily nodded and allowed Eliza to lead her to the kitchen. I watched as my boss, the woman known for making grown executives nervous, gently helped my daughter into a chair and served her soup with the patience of someone who understood what it meant to care for a child. Later, after Lily had fallen asleep, Eliza and I worked side by side at my kitchen table. The domesticity of the scene wasn't lost on me, how natural it felt to have her there, how easily she had slipped into our lives. "She's a remarkable child," Eliza said as we finished our work. "You're doing an amazing job with her." "Some days I feel like I'm failing her," I admitted. "She deserves more than a dad who's making it up as he goes along." Eliza's hand covered mine, warm and steady. "Daniel, that little girl adores you. The way she looks at you, that's not a child who's missing anything." Our eyes met, and for a moment, I allowed myself to imagine what it might be like to have Eliza in our lives permanently, not just as my boss, but as something more. The thought both thrilled and terrified me. As if reading my mind, she withdrew her hand and stood. "I should go. Early meeting tomorrow." At the door, she hesitated. "Thank you for letting me in tonight. It's been nice." "Anytime," I said, meaning it more than I'd meant anything in a long time. The next day, rumors started. Someone had seen Eliza's car outside my apartment. By lunchtime, the office was buzzing with speculation about the CEO and the IT guy. I tried to ignore it, but the whispers followed me through the hallways. Eliza called me to her office that afternoon. Her expression was guarded, professional. "I'm sorry about the gossip," she said without preamble. "This is exactly why I don't mix my personal and professional lives." "It's fine," I assured her, though the distance she was creating stung more than I wanted to admit. "People will find something else to talk about soon enough." She nodded, relief evident in her posture. "Good. I value our friendship, Daniel. I wouldn't want workplace politics to complicate that." Friendship. The word felt simultaneously like an offering and a boundary. I accepted it with a nod, understanding that whatever had been building between us needed to remain contained, at least for now. But life rarely follows the boundaries we try to set. Over the next few months, Eliza became a regular presence in our lives. She joined us for weekend outings to the park, helped Lily with a science project, even attended her school play. To anyone watching, we must have looked like a family, the successful businesswoman, the devoted father, and the little girl who had somehow brought them together. Yet neither of us acknowledged the growing feelings between us. We were friends, we told ourselves. Nothing more. Until the night of the company gala. Horizon Publishing was celebrating its most successful year in a decade, largely due to Eliza's leadership. The event was held at an upscale hotel downtown, with everyone dressed in their finest. I had arranged for my sister to watch Lily, though I'd almost decided not to attend at all. Large social gatherings had never been my thing, especially ones where I'd be surrounded by executives and board members. But Eliza had asked me personally to be there. I need at least one person in the room who sees me as more than just the CEO, she'd said. So there I was, uncomfortable in a rented tuxedo, nursing a glass of champagne in a corner when Eliza entered the room. She wore a deep blue gown that seemed to catch every light, her hair swept up to reveal the elegant line of her neck. The room quieted momentarily as people turned to look at her, their leader, their success story. She gave a brief, gracious speech thanking the team for their hard work. Her eyes found mine across the room several times, and each time, I felt that connection that had been growing between us for months. Later, as the evening wound down, she found me on the hotel's terrace, seeking a moment of quiet away from the crowd. Not enjoying the party, she asked, joining me at the railing. Just needed some air. You were amazing in there. She smiled, but I could see the weariness behind it. It's all part of the job. The performance. Is that what tonight is for you? A performance? She considered the question, looking out at the city lights. Parts of it. Not this, though. Not with you. The admission hung between us, heavy with implication. I turned to face her fully. Eliza, what are we doing? I don't know, she whispered, vulnerability replacing her usual confidence. I just know that when I'm with you and Lily, I feel real. Like I can breathe. And that scares you. She nodded. Everything I've built, my career, my reputation, it's all been on my terms. But this, whatever is happening between us, it's not something I can control or direct. Maybe that's not a bad thing, I suggested gently. Isn't it? Daniel, I'm your boss. The power dynamic alone makes this complicated. And you have Lily to consider. What if we try this and it falls apart? What happens to all of us then? Before I could respond, we were interrupted by one of the board members calling Eliza back inside. She gave me an apologetic look before following him, leaving me alone with questions neither of us seemed ready to answer. The next week brought a new complication. Horizon Publishing was being courted for acquisition by a larger media conglomerate. If the deal went through, it would mean significant changes for everyone, including the possibility that Eliza would be relocated to their headquarters in Chicago. The office became a pressure cooker of anxiety and speculation. Eliza was constantly in meetings, often working late into the night. Our moments together became rare and brief, both of us too preoccupied with the uncertain future to address the unresolved feelings between us. Then came the day that changed everything. I was picking Lily up from school when I received an urgent call from my sister. Our father had suffered a heart attack in his retirement community in Florida. She was flying down immediately and needed me to join her. I rushed back to the office to request emergency leave, my mind racing with logistics. Who would care for Lily while I was gone? How serious was my father's condition? Would my job be secure with all the acquisition talks happening? Eliza was in a meeting when I arrived, but her assistant promised to get her my message. I was halfway home to pack when my phone rang. "Daniel, I just heard. I'm so sorry about your father." Eliza's voice was filled with genuine concern. "How can I help?" "I'm trying to figure out what to do about Lily," I admitted. "My usual backup is going with me, and I don't want to pull Lily out of school if I can avoid it." There was only a moment's hesitation before Eliza said, "Let me take care of her." "Eliza, I can't ask you to." "You're not asking. I'm offering. Lily knows me, she's comfortable with me, and my house has plenty of room. Let me do this for you, Daniel." The relief that washed over me was immediate and overwhelming. "Are you sure?" "It could be several days." "I'm sure. Pack what she needs, and I'll come by to pick her up this evening." That night, as I explained to Lily that I needed to go help Grandpa and that she would be staying with Eliza, I was struck by how readily my daughter accepted the arrangement. In her 7-year-old mind, Eliza had already become someone she trusted implicitly. "Will you call me every night?" Lily asked, her small face serious. "Every single night," I promised, holding her close. "And I'll be back as soon as I can." When Eliza arrived, she was calm and reassuring, helping Lily pack her favorite stuffed animals and books. To my surprise, she also had a small suitcase of her own. "I thought it would be easier to stay here," she explained quietly. "More familiar for Lily. If that's okay with you." The thought of Eliza staying in my home, caring for my daughter in my absence, filled me with a complex mix of emotions. Gratitude, certainly, but also a deepening of the feelings I'd been trying to keep in check. "Thank you," I said simply, knowing the words were inadequate. As I prepared to leave for the airport, Lily safely tucked in bed, Eliza walked me to the door. "Don't worry about anything here," she said. "Just focus on your father." Impulsively, I pulled her into a hug. She stiffened momentarily, then relaxed against me, her arms wrapping around my waist. We stood like that for a long moment, neither willing to be the first to let go. "Daniel," she whispered against my shoulder. "When you get back, we need to talk. About us." I nodded, my heart racing. "Yes. We do." The 5 days I spent in Florida were a blur of hospital rooms, discussions with doctors, and late-night conversations with my sister about our father's care. His condition stabilized, though it was clear he would need ongoing support. We arranged for in-home care and promised to visit more frequently. Throughout it all, my nightly calls with Lily were anchored by Eliza's steady presence. She sent me photos of Lily at the park, baking cookies, working on homework. In one particularly touching image, they were both asleep on the couch, a storybook open across Eliza's lap and Lily curled against her side. It was during those days apart that I finally admitted to myself what I'd been feeling for months: I was in love with Eliza Matthews. Not with the CEO, but with the woman who remembered my coffee order, who made my daughter laugh, who whispered her insecurities to me on a Friday night when she thought no one was listening. When I returned home, it was past midnight. I expected to find Eliza sleeping in the guest room, but instead, she was awake, working on her laptop at my kitchen table. She looked up when I entered, her face lighting up with a smile that made my heart skip. "You're back," she said softly, rising to greet me. "How's your father?" "Stable. Stubborn. Typical dad." I set down my bag, suddenly nervous. "How was Lily?" "Perfect. She's a remarkable child, Daniel." Eliza's expression grew tender. "She misses her mom sometimes. She told me about her." I nodded, a familiar